Imagine standing before crumbled walls that once protected your homeland, with enemies mocking your every move to rebuild. This was the reality Nehemiah faced in 445 BC when he returned to Jerusalem to reconstruct its destroyed walls. Jerusalem lay vulnerable, its walls in ruins for over 140 years since the Babylonian invasion. When Nehemiah, cupbearer to Persian King Artaxerxes, heard about his homeland's condition, his heart broke. Through prayer and courage, he secured the king's permission to rebuild. But not everyone welcomed this restoration project. Sanballat the Horonite, Tobiah the Ammonite, and Geshem the Arab became furious. "What is this thing you are doing?" they sneered. "Are you rebelling against the king?" Their mockery turned to threats as the walls began rising. This is exactly what enemies do in our everyday life, always wanting you remain in the negative situation and not making progress. Nehemiah's response? "The God of heaven will give us success," he declared. "We, his servants, will arise and build." He organized the people into teams, each family repairing the section near their home. But they couldn't simply focus on construction. They had to watch for attacks too. Tough situation that required a genuine faith, purpose, and trust in the power of God. Same is expected from us today if we must win against the opposers. As the walls grew higher, the opposition intensified. The enemies plotted armed attacks to create confusion. Nehemiah's brilliant solution. He stationed guards and armed the builders themselves. "Remember the Lord, who is great and awesome," he encouraged them. Workers held building tools in one hand and weapons in the other. The opposition didn't stop there. They tried to trick Nehemiah into leaving the city for a meeting, planning to harm him. They spread false rumors about rebellion to intimidate the builders. They even hired false prophets to discourage Nehemiah. But he saw through every plot, responding with wisdom and unwavering faith. Despite all obstacles, the impossible happened. The entire wall was completed in just 52 days. Even their enemies had to admit that this work was done with God's help. What seemed like an overwhelming task became a testimony to faith, leadership, and divine protection. This ancient story mirrors challenges we face today when pursuing God's calling. Opposition often rises when we're doing what's right. Like Nehemiah, we must remain focused on our mission, stay alert to danger, and trust in God's protection. Sometimes rebuilding requires both a trowel and a sword, both constructive work and readiness to defend against opposition. The walls of Jerusalem stood as a symbol of restoration, security, and God's faithfulness. They reminded future generations that when God's people work together with courage and determination, no amount of opposition can stop His plans from being accomplished. This kind of unity can also hold our church, families, and relationship together, where everyone focuses on the purpose only. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe to our channel.